I want to start by sharing some pictures of some different kids. This first one is of a teenage boy who loves to play outdoors. He loves playing any sport, and he'd rather stay outside all day if he was allowed to. This next picture is of a younger boy who loves to build. He plays with Legos every day, and he tries to build a bigger and bigger tower each day. This last picture is of a young girl who loves music and dancing more than anyone I know. Her favorite song is Shake It Off, and she listens to it on repeat every single day. Now, looking at these three kids, is there anything that looks different about them? Can you tell what's unique about them? Do they look different than any other kid that you know? To me, they look like just every other kid that I know around. They love the things that other kids love, and they like to participate in things that other kids do. But can you tell that all three actually suffer from autism? Although many people cannot see the differences that autism children have, many times these children are treated as if they are worth nothing. This is why it is so important for all children to receive education on disabilities so that they can understand and be more accepting of all students. One of the statistics shows from Autism Speaks that 1 in 68 children suffer from autism in the United States. One of those children that suffers from autism is my niece Sage. Sage is almost 12 years old, and like I said before, she loves music and dancing more than anyone I know. When Sage was about 4 years old, she was diagnosed with Asperger's, which is a form of autism. Sage was unable to speak until she was almost 8 years old, which meant there was a lot of grunting to get things she wanted or climbing on counters to get what she wanted without asking. Although we could not understand her, Sage always found ways to get what she needed. Sage last year hit a huge accomplishment. When she was in 5th grade, she was able to memorize 100 sight words. For a 5th grader, this is not that big of a deal, as this is usually a skill you learn in about 1st grade. But for someone with autism, Sage accomplished a huge goal of hers by learning that many words. Sage has been able to make a lot of accomplishments in her life, but she also has had to suffer a lot, especially with bullying. This last year alone, she was bullied quite often, especially on the bus and also at school eating lunch with other students. Many students treated her differently, talked to her differently, and kind of treated her as if she were just different. Although they thought she did not fully understand, Sage really struggled watching these people make fun of her on a daily basis. It made it hard for her to want to go to school or to even want to go eat lunch with these kids each and every day. Carrie Magro is a national motivational speaker. He's also a well-known author, and he's a founder of a nonprofit organization who has autism. Carrie Magro, through his research, was able to provide statistics that help show what autistic children go through. He shared that more than half of autistic children are bullied at some point in their life, and they are compared twice as much to their peers that do not have any type of a disability. This statistic really disheartened me because it's not fair that they're being compared to their peers who are not struggling with similar situations that they are on a daily basis. This is why it is so important for all students to receive education on different disabilities so they can be more accepting and understanding of what all students are going through. I want to share a list of statistics that are found from the National Autism Association. This association was able to give statistics that share what autistic children go through on a yearly basis and what they suffer each day. The first says 65% of parents reported that their child with autism had been victimized by peers in some way within the past year. 47 reported that their child had been hit by peers or siblings. 50% of autistic children reported being scared of their peers, and 12% indicated that their child had never been invited to a birthday party before. These statistics are hard to hear for anyone, especially when you hear that some of these kids have never even been invited to some of these parties that other kids are going to. Although these statistics can be hard to hear, there are so many ways that we can help students learn and gain an understanding of this education of disabilities. One of the first ways is through a discussion process with the teachers. As teachers are able to lead a discussion with these students, they're able to help them understand what disabled children are going through on a daily basis, including autistic children. One of the things teachers can help students understand is that most autistic children are very good at focusing on some type of an ability. Sometimes they're really good at art. Other times it's at computer systems. Sometimes they're really good at math or even science. Whatever their skill is, they're able to focus in on it and be amazing at it, sometimes even better than regular students are, knowing important facts and even other things that people would never even think were important to know. All of this can be known through a discussion process, helping students to know and understand what these disabled students are going through and how amazing they really are. Another great skill that I learned from my autistic niece was at her school they shared an animated documentary to help the students learn and understand what autism is. The documentary was called A is for Autism, and it shared what autism is, how they go through their days, and how we as other people can help them and support them in what they're doing. There are so many other videos through YouTube or even a movie called Temple Grandin that I had to watch in college to help me understand what these types of students are going through. Temple Grandin was able to make an amazing invention and accomplish her goals of a remarkable education, all because she found out that she had autism and was able to focus in on her abilities. Lastly, I think it is so important to teach our students about inclusion. Everyone wants to feel included, and it is so easy to help people feel like they have someone to turn to. It may be as simple as letting a kid come sit with you at lunch and talking with them about things that they enjoy too, such as music, or maybe about that PE class you guys went to. It may also be as simple as walking them to their class in the mornings. Everyone wants to feel like they have a friend, and when you're included, you feel like you always have someone to turn to. My niece Sage looks for her friend Alicia every morning at school, who helps her to class and takes her to lunch. This friend was not asked to do it, but she does it out of love for my niece. Carrie Magro shares another statistic in his book that says that more than half of bullying with autistic children is stopped when a peer intervenes. This helps show autism awareness and also autism acceptance. When others are able to see that their peers are willing to stand up for them, it's able to show that people accept these students with autism. They're just as important and just as unique as each of us are. When you see this ribbon, do you know what it stands for? Or, like me, I used to think that all of these ribbons just represented some type of cancer. In reality, this is the Autism Awareness Ribbon, and it helps show what autistic children go through and helps us to understand what their lives are really like and making us aware of it. Autism awareness needs to be provided for all students. As students are able to receive that education through schools of different disabilities, they're able to accept all students and everyone around them. That is what this is all about. Next time you see that ribbon, I hope you can understand what it represents and the importance of having that disability education for each student in this world. We all have our unique abilities, and we should be proud of them and stand up for them in this world.